This is a video that will demonstrate the use of SCP, which is a Unix utility that allows you to do a secure copy from one system to another system. If we take a look at the man page for SCP, you can see it's a secure copy, and the synopsis or the syntax is SCP, and there's a lot of different options, but really the basics of this is what we need here is the file names. And because this is at a different host, in this case our virtual machine, we need to utilize this entire aspect right here, which is the username because it will be different than our username, at the host name because it's different than our host, and then the file name. And then just like a regular CP command, you then need to give it the file that you want to copy it to. So I'm going to show you an SCP to copy a file that I have on my virtual machine. So again, we're going to do SCP. We're going to do the username, which is the username specified for your virtual machine, CSC252 in this case, at the virtual machine that I'm going to use, which is 01, so CSC252-01, colon, and then the file name. And the file name in this case is in my documents directory, and it's called test.dat. And then I want to do test.dat so that I name it the same on this machine. It's going to ask me for my password because I'm trying to access data on a different machine, my virtual machine. So I'm going to supply it with the password for my username on my virtual machine. And you can see it showed that 100% was copied. And so now if I do an ls-al on test.dat, you can see that the file is there, and it has a size 82. And it copied it in my home directory in this case. If you want to copy it into your 252 directory or a different directory that you have, you would first have to do a cd into that directory. In this case, and now do the scp command. Or in the scp command for the file name, you could specify a relative or absolute path name.